6 GMT. You're listening to The World Today from the BBC World Service with Julian Keane and Roger Hearing.
So a decisive moment in Libya's history after the fall of the regime, the death of the man who embodied it for more than 4 decades. With Muammar Gaddafi now dead, the country can move on. Let's have a bit more a reaction to developments in Libya and focus on Algeria. It's a country which has so far managed to escape the full force of the Arab Spring, but the authorities there are still coming under pressure to implement political reforms. It's also where several members of Gaddafi's family have taken refuge. I've been speaking to M.Zitout, currently living in exile in London. He used to be Algeria's deputy ambassador to Libya.
It's a great day. Definitely it's a great day for all those who are looking for justice, for freedom. It's a great day for the Arab world, and especially for the Libyans who wait for it for over than 40 years to get rid of this brutal and violent regime.
We can understand what it means for Libya. What does it mean for the Arab world?
It means a lot. Gaddafi is the third dictator. We get rid of him after the Tunisian and the Egyptian. His end is very violent, as he was all his 40 years. Very violent, very autocratic, very despotic.
Looking at this from the Algerian perspective, do you think there'll be members of the regime in Algeria looking at all this with a little bit of concern, because the Algerian leadership took quite a long time to distance itself from the Gaddafi regime?
I get in touch with many Algerians today, and most of those were very, very pleased with the news. But at the same time, it was very sad news for the regime. The regime has tried to help Gaddafi from the first day, and it didn't work. But at least when Tripoli fall in the hand of the revolutionaries, the regime tried to help Gaddafi in a way to make troubles, or at least make instability in Libya. This was one of the strategy of the regime, is not to have a stable new Libya, stable new regime. But with the killing of Gaddafi, I think this has got a huge blow, and it will end for the Algerian regime.
And in what way? I mean, because we've seen signs of unrest certainly in Algeria, but nothing like on the scale that we've seen elsewhere in the region.
There is huge unrest in Algeria, strikes, demonstration. It's daily. Just I've seen statistics that there was a 141 big strike and demonstration last September. The Algerians are determined to finish with this regime. Don't forget that we have had over than 200,000 persons killed in the last 20 years after the coup d'etat of the 11th of January 1992. Algeria is run by brutal dictators, generals mainly from the secret services, who has done all what we have seen in Libya, what Gaddafi has done, and what Bashar is doing for the moment, and what the Yemenite dictator is doing for the moment. The great things that we are getting one by one of these autocrats from the Arab region, and the great things that Algeria is definitely on the list of the Arab Spring, and we are going to get rid of this regime.
We've been hearing that for a while, yet they're still holding on though, aren't they?
You know, when you have got over than 200,000 killed in very brutal and very savage way, you get people are scared. But at the same time, many people are determined to get rid of the regime. The problem that the regime, the Algerian regime, still have the support of the Western government. We've just seen, for example, the foreign minister of this country going there and offering the support and the help and to work together with generals who has killed hundreds of thousands of Algerians, work together with the dictators who are not different from Gaddafi. This is really a joke, and this shouldn't happen from a democratic country like this.
When you talk about the need to push political change in Algeria, do you see Libya as a model to follow?
No, definitely not. We want a non-violent change, and I hope and I'm sure that we will get it. Definitely we are not looking for the Libyan way to get rid of this dictator who are still running the country.
Algeria's former deputy ambassador to Libya, M.Zitout.